Stormoen, CEO of the Arthritis National Research Foundation, or ANRF. Our firm led the search that placed Emily at ANRF back in 2021, so a few years ago. Emily has over 20 years of nonprofit leadership experience and came to ANRF from the National Psoriasis Foundation, where she served as their Chief Revenue Officer. Welcome, Emily.
Thanks. So great to see you, Ben.
Good to see you. First off, I wanted to just, if you could, tell everyone a little bit about ANRF, what the organization does, and how things have been going for you the last 3 years.
Absolutely. Well, things are great for us right now. We're in a really fantastic space for our organization. We've been in a growth pattern for the last several years, and we'll continue to grow over the next couple of years. ANRF has been around as an organization for over 50 years. We started in Orange County back in the 70s, awarding grants to early career researchers who are studying arthritis and autoimmune disease. And to date, we have awarded more than $27 million in grant funding to researchers, of about which 96% stay in the field of rheumatic disease. So we're very proud of our work and the researchers and the work that they've gone on to do and the scientific discoveries that they've made. So it's been really great. We embarked on a strategic plan the last couple of years. We're about ready to start year 3 of it, which really outlined some aggressive but attainable goals for us in terms of growth for our organization, not only in terms of revenue, but growth in terms of our investment into our research and into our community. So excited to see what year 3 of that plan brings us, and hopefully continue to see great progress there.
Well, and that sort of was my next question, was about what's coming up next at ANRF. So it looks like there's growth on the horizon, and
Yeah.
Is the growth, I'm curious, is it geographical? I know obviously you're a national organization. Is it
Sure.
revenue? Is it the number of researchers that you're funding? What are the thoughts there?
Yeah, kind of all of the above. As you mentioned, we're a national organization, so we really wanted to expand our footprint to represent in all of our constituency. Our researchers are all over the country. We've expanded our board of directors to be really national, our scientific advisory board, our staff, so that we can really meet our constituents where they're at and support them in their communities as well. So yes, we do want to grow in terms of scope, but we want to grow in terms of revenue. So we've brought on a number of key staff to help us grow our fundraising efforts, specifically individual giving, major gifts, corporate partnerships. We've seen major growth in some of those areas because of that. Of course, the more money we raise, the more money we can invest back into research, which is our top priority. So continuing to invest in our researchers. This year, we'll award a little bit more than $2.1 million in research grants. We've increased our funding mechanism. We went from a $200,000 2-year grant to a $250,000 grant. So again, trying to meet our researchers where they're at in terms of their costs increasing. And so we're, of course, want to make sure that we are providing a really substantial grant that's going to help them and get them started in their career. And then we want to be there for our patients, be there for those that are living with these diseases, and be able to provide new resources, new educational materials, things like that they can use to guide them as they learn about research and they learn about their disease.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, thank you. It sounds like there's lots of great work going on, a lot of growth, which is wonderful to hear. My last question, it's interesting in a lot of interviews, conversations I have on other searches in the nonprofit space, your hiring at ANRF actually comes up a little bit. And the reason is it's the hybrid or remote nature of your role that you were living. I know you're now splitting your time between Vancouver, Washington, and Arizona, but you were living in Washington. ANRF was based in Irvine, and there was question about a CEO for a nonprofit being remote. And a lot of my clients and candidates the last 3 years since you were placed at ANRF have been talking a lot about the viability of hybrid, but also remote situations for their leaders. And I'm just curious. I know every organization, every situation is different and unique, and it can work for some and not for others. But how has this arrangement been going for you and for ANRF, and how are things going for the organization as a whole as you're moving forward?
Yeah, and I appreciate that. It was such an interesting time, and I was the first CEO for ANRF to be remote, or to not be physically in the office every day. Of course, again, I was hired during COVID, so we were technically in
Yeah.
a shutdown anyway. So it was a weird dynamic of starting a new job and not being to physically go there. We unfortunately made an investment to a new office in January of 2020. So, not hindsight's 2020, and of course, at the time, spent sort of top dollar for a really great office for us. And now we're in a position where we look back and say, these are dollars that can be better spent in another area. For us, it's almost $100,000 a year cost savings to not have a physical office space. And that's
Wow.
direct money that can go into our programs and our grants. And so it's hard to justify that amount of money annually just to keep a physical space when the work that we do, frankly, can be done anywhere. We need to be, I always say I need to have access to a plane and phone and Wi-Fi so that I can get on the phone and talk to our researchers and talk to our donors, or get on a plane to go meet with them as well. And we've found that that works well for us. I'm a firm believer too that talent can reside anywhere. And I think when you open up the hiring process to find the best talent in the country, it really helps you to get the right people for the right positions instead of limiting to, you have to come into the office and you have to live in this certain area. So it's worked out very well for us, and it's provided, I think, more accessibility for our constituents who have maybe felt like in the past we were a little pigeonholed to the area that we were based in. And now really we are a national organization. And so our board's very supportive of that. And our staff is excelling, I think, with that. We also make a pretty big commitment every year to get our staff together in person a couple of times a year, which is important for our board, important for us, and helps, I think, build those connective points, gets us off Zoom for, a couple of days and actually has some face-to-face interaction. And those seem to really help, I think, build that teamwork and that camaraderie that carries us, until the next time that we meet in person as well.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you for that. Again, I know every organization is a little bit different,
Sure.
but it's nice to talk with, with you and organizations that are making it work. And I think for the right organization, it can absolutely work. So, well, thank you so much, Emily. It was so great to see you again, catch up again.
You
And I
too.
wish you and the team at ANRF all the best for success moving forward.
Appreciate it. So great to see you, Ben. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.